guys, welcome back to my channel. I want to ask your opinion on something that breaks my heart that happened this morning. No, it has nothing to do with my kitty cat. I heard from the vet and she sent me actually a picture of Maddie and she's doing really well. Let's see if I have that picture to show you. I do. She's doing really well. There she is. It's hard to see, but she's kind of happy. She's getting more fluids and she's getting more spunk to her, so they're going to start doing more tests because they have her on IV and they're putting IV fluids in her to get her to get rehydrated, and they're also putting another drug in her to induce appetite, so hopefully she'll eat. Still praying. Anyways, this is what I read on the news this morning, or heard on the news this morning, so I'm going to read it to you guys. And I want your honest opinion on it because I am just disgusted by this. This should never happen, ever, to a child, okay? A Winnipeg mother says St. James Assiniboia School Division failed her daughter after the 9-year-old was left outside for hours when her school bus failed to pick her up. On Tuesday, I'm not going to name her name, the 9-year-old got up around 7 a.m. to get ready for school. An hour later, the grade 4 student left their home and walked to her bus stop located 5 houses away. The school bus typically picks her up 4 minutes later, so Isabella Roberts left for work. By 8:05, there were no calls or cancellations. No calls of late buses, nothing, she said. I felt confident the bus was going to pick her up, so the girl waited close to 45 minutes for the bus on the corner of her street before she decided to walk home. After discovering her front door was locked, she ran around the back of the house and managed to push a garbage can against the 6-foot fence and pull herself over. She quickly checked the other doors to see if there was a way to get into the house, but both were locked, obviously, in this type of world. I was feeling really cold and really scared, she said. My mom's usual lunch break is 12 p.m. or 11 a.m. and I didn't want to wait that long. I didn't know what to do. She laid down in her snowsuit, crawled into a ball, and shielded her face from the cold wind with her backpack. My toes were really freezing, she said. I couldn't even feel them anymore. 2.5 hours later, with temperatures below minus 20 degrees Celsius, and that's not including the wind chill, Isabella Roberts got a call from her daughter's school asking why she wasn't in class. Roberts repeatedly told the secretary her daughter had taken the bus, but the school bus said she never made it. I came home as fast as I could, she said. She wasn't there, Roberts said with tear-filled eyes. I went to the bus stop, she wasn't there. I came home and started calling her name and she was in the backyard, half frozen. Roberts rushed her daughter inside and wrapped her tightly in a warm blanket and took her to the Grace Hospital emergency room. This is all on the news, so it's available to the public. She was checked out and released several hours later. I trusted the system, and Roberts said, at some point, you have to let somebody take care of them for you, like school. Make sure they are safe. They failed. No one is taking responsibility. The school division is investigating. The chief superintendent of the St. James Assiniboia School Division has been in contact with Vital Transit, the company that currently holds division's transportation contract. Brett Lau said because of an accident on Route 90, the driver decided not to pick up a portion of his route because he was running late. He said a miscommunication around that decision resulted in the missed pickup. 9 other students were also left outside. Lowe said the driver will no longer be working with the division. We will be reviewing our process and our protocols in this extreme weather so no other student is compromised, he said. Our number one thing is to ensure the safety of kids. CBC has tried unsuccessfully to reach Vital Transit for comment. Meanwhile, Isabella Roberts says she's happy her daughter is okay. I will take an extra 15 minutes now and wait for the bus to get there, she said. In a month or so, when she's mentally and emotionally ready to start walking again, I will call the school by 8:30 to make sure she's there. If they find me annoying, so what? Now, I have a few thoughts on this, okay? Number one, why doesn't she have a key to the house? When I was that age in BC, I walked to school because it was close enough for me to walk to. It took me 10-15 minutes to walk. It was actually straight down. I was on East 25th. The school was on East 22nd. So I walked. I mean, albeit the between streets was pretty big, but still, I could see the school from my back alley, but a little farther down. I always had keychains. Several keychains all together with my key so I wouldn't lose it. Always. I remember in grade 3. I remember in grade 3 specifically because I moved from Winnipeg to Vancouver back to Maple Ridge. I'll get into that in another video, but I always had keys on me to get in the house. What if, say, my mom, when I was staying with her briefly, had an appointment and I walked home? I needed some way to get in, right? Well, why didn't the kid have a key is my concern. Sorry for the lighting. I'm going to get a camera and I hope to have better videos, more clear. Not that you want to see this any clearer than it is. Number 2, why, like, where is this miscommunication? Do bus drivers just decide that, hey, I'm just not going to go over there because I'm late, so I'll just skip those people and go do something else? Well, thankfully he's not going to be employed there anymore. But what a thing for the poor kid to go through. Her toes were frozen. She said, on the news, I watched the news first and then I read about it because I wanted to read it to you verbatim, because I didn't want any mixed, like, anything. I wanted it accurate for when I read it to you. But I saw it on the news this morning while I was drinking my coffee, and they showed the girl, and the girl talked and everything, and she said that her toes were frozen, she couldn't feel them, and she was really scared. Another thing is, I don't know the area, if they're familiar with any neighbors, but when I was growing up, I know it was a different thing back in the 70s and early 80s, but I would go to a neighbor's house. I would, like, there's got to be a neighbor, her next door neighbor, or a neighbor of some sort that she could go to be warm until her mom can come and get her. Or am I just, is that wrong? Like, I mean, I have 2 neighbors here, and if I was locked out of my house, I wouldn't hesitate going to their houses. I don't know them that well. I've only been in this house, it's going to be 16 months. And, but I would still go to the neighbors. I talk to them, you know, in the summertime when, you know, we're outside gardening or what have you. But I would not hesitate to go to a neighbor. So why didn't she? Like, is she just that scared? I mean, she is 9, but I mean, even at 9, when I was young, I would go to I remember her name, Mrs. Powell. I would go 3 or 4 houses down, no, two houses down from mine, 3 houses from the lane. So Mrs. Powell, I would go to her house if I didn't have any keys. But I always had keys when I was a kid, and I always collected keys. You know, those troll keys and Garfield, because Garfield is my all-time favorite character. Cartoon character. I'm gonna do a video on that one of these days. I can't wait till he comes in. He hasn't hit the market yet with popularity like Hello Kitty and all that kind of stuff coming back. But anyways, there's too many variables in this that just don't add up. Like too many whys. Like I just don't understand. Like the mother, and on the news, the big thing is there's lots of people blaming the mother for this. That's another thing I want you guys to help me out with. Like, what do you think? Is it the mother's fault? Is it the school's fault? Is it the driver's fault? Because a lot of people are blaming the mother for not letting her have a key. And a lot of people are blaming the school. And that's totally okay. But at the end of the day, it's a driver who decided not to go because he didn't want to be late. Well, I'd rather be late than dead. Okay, you know that the temperature is probably minus 30 with the wind chill Celsius, and you're just, because of an accident, you're just gonna take it upon yourself to not pick up a total of 10 students because you don't want to, because you don't want to be late. Well, better late than never, right? Like, I just don't get it. Like, what is wrong with people? Like, what is your take on this? Like, am I wrong? Like about the key, or about the, you know, like, or she could have, like, obviously she won't have a cell phone, but is there a store even around there where she could pop into and use the telephone? I don't know. I don't know that area very well, so I don't know exactly where she lives to know what is around her, but there's too many unknowns that and questions that I have with that. But no child should ever, nobody should ever be left in the cold like that. I mean, this, like in the morning here, when you wake up, it's probably between minus 30 and minus 40 degrees Celsius with the wind chill. So that's pretty darn cold if you ask me. And to be left outside, not prepared, and you have to like bury yourself and cover yourself with your backpack just so you don't freeze. I mean, that poor girl, I feel so sorry for her. Like, my goodness, that's gonna affect her. Like, she's gonna be, I would be scared too. Like, my goodness, I feel so bad for all those homeless people out there. It's not even funny. It's not even funny. But I would love to hear your take on this, because this is a story that's going to be going on for a few days, I think, because, like I said, they want to blame the mom for not having a key and, you know, not waiting for her while the bus came, leaving her there by herself. They're blaming the school, the driver. I want to know your take. Leave it in the comments below. Let me know. And if there's any update on the story, I will definitely do another video about it for you guys. All right? So I got a few videos I want to film. I'm not going to post them all today. I won't inundate you like Peter Mon. I can't keep up with him. I'm trying to do my videos, but I want to watch his, and then I go and watch his, and then I'm like, oh, I got to do mine before I get too tired, and then he puts another one up. I love you, Peter. Anyway, so have a good morning, and let me know what you think. This is a serious situation, and I think it happens more than we know, and I think that's all I wanted to, backpack, cover your faces, yeah, so, That's all I had written down, but I wanted to, like I said, read it verbatim so you know exactly the story that I'm talking about, and it's accurate. So let me know your thoughts. Let me know if I'm right, wrong, right and wrong. And I'd appreciate it. And if you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe button and the little bell. I know that people say, oh yeah, the little bell. I don't know if the little bell does anything, because I have my favorite people like Nikki Murphy. I don't get reminders for when she posts a video. There's Charles Gross I don't get reminded for. And there's a few other ones that I don't get reminded for when they post a video, and I am subscribed to them, and I click the little bell. So I don't know if that little bell does anything, but if you're not subscribed, subscribe. Give this video a like, and leave your comments below, because I'd really like to know. Honestly, I'd like to know your opinion on this, and who you think the fault is on the school, the parent, or both. So have a wonderful morning, everyone. I love you guys to death, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now. Mwah.